I wanted to wear something for this video that looked like professional, but I realized I haven't worn any of my blazers or dress shirts in 2 years now, so they're all dusty and they would all make me sneeze and sniffle like crazy. So instead I've gone for work from home business casual. Hi everyone, Rosie here. Welcome back to my channel. I thought it might be interesting to do a bit of a quarterly review on my reading goals for the year. I want to see if I'm progressing on them, one, and two, if there's still goals that are bringing me joy and making me happy to have them guiding my reading, because I don't want to fall into the trap of I set the goal, therefore even if it's not making me happy, I have to keep doing the thing. If you want to talk way more about reading goals, make sure you check out my reading goals tag playlist. This is a tag I created back in January, and if you haven't done it, you should totally do it because we should talk goals year round. And also you should watch everyone else who's done it because they all had fantastic input. I'm going to read these out in the order that they're in my planner, so if I'm looking down, that's why, but I'll also put up little charts beside me so you can see what I'm talking about. So my first goal was to read more sequels and finish more series. This was a carryover from last year, but I was back and I was serious. And it's actually been pretty successful. In January, I read 3 sequels, but didn't finish any series. In February, I read 5 sequels because I got really sucked into an audiobook series and had to drive a lot, and didn't finish any series, but I did start one. And then in March, I read 1 sequel, but I actually finished a series. Yay! My first series finish of the year was the series of Maya Angelou's autobiographies. It was fantastic, and right up to the last book, I was so glad that I decided to keep reading them. So that was such a positive feeling to be like, right, this is why I want to finish more series. This is why I want to read sequels, because these are books that I'm probably going to love. As I said, I did start 2 series in the last couple months, which isn't great. So I have technically started more series than I have finished, but in my defense, one of those is novellas that only has 1 other book out right now. So like, I'm gonna finish that so quickly. And the other one is, again, it has either 1 other book out or it's going to come out soon. So they're not like long series that I'm starting. And I think on the whole, I'll take the win that I'm feeling excited to continue series, and I think that's a pretty big success, that I want to keep adding sequels to my TBRs, that I keep thinking, how can I fit more sequels onto my TBR? How can I make sure I read these books? Because I'm excited to. My next goal was to reduce my owned TBR, so that's my TBR of books that I have already bought. At the start of the year, I had 151 books on that list. I own a lot more books than that, mostly in ebook form. These are all the physical books that I own behind me. But I own probably 600 ebooks that I haven't read, and a lot of those are ones I'm not immediately interested in reading anymore. So I decided to get them off my TBR. I cut it down to just the ones I actively wanted to read, and I'm trying to read through those. Not because I necessarily want to get to TBR 0, but because I want to have read the books that were exciting to me so that I can keep reading new books that are exciting to me as they come up, and hopefully it'll be a little less overwhelming. I'm not looking at how many I read versus how many I acquired on this list. I'm just looking at the net change from the beginning to the end of the month. So in January, I reduced my TBR by 5. February, not quite so good with 4. But in March, I only reduced my own TBR by 2 books if you consider books that I have finished reading, and 4 books if you consider books that I have not yet finished, which I'm not doing because that seems unfair. So 2 probably looks like a bit of a failure there, but actually I'm pretty proud of that because I acquired so many books in March. I think I bought like 5 or 6 new books, and I read almost all of them as soon as I bought them, which just feels so nice to go, this book excites me, I'm going to read it. And it really reminded me of why I do want to keep working on my TBR, and maybe inspired some other videos that you will see coming soon about how can I really take this getting my TBR down seriously. My initial goal for 2022 was to get it down to around 100 books. I'm a little behind on that front, but I feel more and more optimistic that I can do that because again, I'm feeling good about the progress that I'm making. My third goal was to read longer books. I wanted to make sure that I was getting to the long books that I was interested in and that I wasn't just focusing on short books that made my numbers go up fast. So I'm trying to essentially bring up the average length of the book that I'm reading. This has been moderately successful. In January, I read 17 books with an average length of 348. In February, 11 books and an average length of 332. March, 13 books, average length of 331. I think my average length in 2021 was something like 320 pages, so I'm doing only ever so slightly better. This is maybe the goal that I feel the most conflicted about. On one hand, I have read some long books that have been fantastic and that I have enjoyed a lot, but I've also been feeling like I'm not picking up short books that I'm excited in because they'll bring my average down, and I don't want to have that effect. I don't want to try so hard to correct one thing that I cause the opposite problem. I don't know what the solution to this is yet. Like I said, I'm thinking about it. For now, I'm going to keep tracking and trying to read long books as they excite me. This is the one to watch in future goals reviews videos. And my final goal is not really that much of a goal at all, to be honest. It is to continue my publication order reread of the Discworld series. I'm doing well on that front. I have read the planned book every month so far. I have enjoyed them all. And I have also participated in Katja's beginning of all of the Discworld sub-series Readalong that she is hosting and that I'm co-hosting along with some other lovely people. Information about that in the description. Participated in both of those so far, and it has, again, been delightful both times. So that goal is, I mean, it's basically a freebie goal, and it's doing exactly what I want my freebie goal to do, which is make me feel good in a very easy and satisfying way. I would love to hear from all of you guys down below. First of all, how are your reading goals going for the year if you set them? Are they feeling good? Are you adjusting them? I'm really curious. And also, was this a type of video that you find interesting to watch? I really enjoy people reflecting on their own goals, and I mean, clearly I enjoy reflecting on my goals. That's why I made this. But I would love to hear and know if this is something that you guys like. And if you did like this video, also, of course, make sure to give it a like down below and hit subscribe so that you'll see all the videos that I have coming up soon. Thanks for watching!